Our prayers are with them. But before we go on this here, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you once again, God, for coming together as your body, as your family, as your children. Lord, we ask right now, God, that you be with this message today, Father, that it will minister, that, Lord, that it will do what it was intended to do, and it will not come back void. We ask special prayers for the Aldridge family, God, Lord, that you just touch them. Mainly, God, your peace, your comfort, your healing. Your peace, your comfort, your healing. We know, God, you are in control. We know, God, that we're getting reports, but it's your report that we want to believe. So we stand in belief and believing that total healing will occur. They will find it, whether you intervene and do it miraculously, but they find it and they fix it. It's still you. That he will be healed. I had to go through this again. Again, God, our prayers are with him, with the family. And we look and we expect good results. In Jesus' name, we give all the glory and honor. Amen. Amen. Okay, I'm going to continue on what we did last time. We talked about, I'm going to try and be still. I walked around too much last time. When I looked at it on Facebook, I wanted to turn it off. And I may know a lot of stuff, but I found myself, I think when I was a medic, I did a lot of teaching. I was an instructor. I had to teach doctors, advanced cardiac life support, and all this other stuff. I hear myself back watching on Facebook. I said, why was I up there? Sometimes I couldn't understand myself. I said, this ain't good. And now I'm back up here again. I'll believe all the preaching to them. I said, I'll take care of the business. They can do all the preaching. And I'm back up here again. I asked Pastor Bowman last night. I said, this is about 10:30. I said, backup plan for tomorrow morning. She goes, okay. So anyway, I'm here. But I'm not me. I'm representing someone a lot bigger than me. Okay, we talked about last week about Christianity, religion, descent. And you say, well, those are just numbers. Yeah, but numbers are real. And when people do this, they do it for a reason. If you look at the number of Christians in the country, that's at 75%. Yeah, it's down from 95 to 75 in the last 20, 30 years. But it's still 75%. Okay? And we also know that 44% of these Christians are saved. Now, what happened to the other 33 and the other 31% that don't read the Bible and call yourself a Christian? I don't know. But 44% read the Bible at least once a month. 64% believe that the Bible is the book that can change humanity. It's the best book ever written. And 67% believe it is the guideline in which to live a good, holy life. All right, now you got all this. Okay, those are figures. Then why in the world are we letting this country get away from us? Why are we letting this country get away from us? If you look at what's going on, I'm not bashing gays, so don't get me wrong there, they're still God's people. But what I'm saying is, the bathrooms in North Carolina, the bisexual people, or who you think you are, or who you want to be, now they're changing the law in the bathroom. You can go in any bathroom you want. If I want to be a girl today, I'll go in the girl's bathroom. North Carolina stood up against this. What happened? They're catching a lot of flack. People like Bruce Springsteen said, well, I'm not taking my concert in. So what? Don't. Take it somewhere else. Bring another group in that wants to be there. We don't need you. People are letting too many people be their voice. And Christians are standing idle, letting it happen. But you say, well, 75%, we're the majority rule. Well, in this country, the people that want to use those bathrooms I'll guarantee you, or maybe 1.1%, that yet their voice is being heard. The laws are being changed. Without thinking of the consequences. Oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. So we're going to put the 99% of people at risk because we don't want to hurt your feelings. Sorry. A bathroom is there, it's got man and woman on the door, use that. No, that's not what they want because it's picking them out. So what? And go use it in the woods. Wherever, just go in the bathroom. But we're not changing the law and putting my daughter at risk because of who you want to be. I am sorry, you are what God made you.
Right.
You know, and North Carolina says you are what you are on the birth certificate. That is true. If you get a sex change and you're a woman all the way, change your birth certificate, change your papers. You know, but you're not going in because you want to be somebody, you know, or you feel you are somebody. So I'm going to tell you, and it's coming. It's coming. Something's going to happen because of that law of a father sent his daughter in there and some pervert went in there, and just to go in there that's not really feeling that way. What you're doing is you're opening the door. You're opening the door for something to happen. We're not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 people that got their feelings hurt. We're talking about you opening the door for something bigger. You know, that's got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is if we stand up and say, no, enough is enough. Now, you got 75% Christians in this country. Now, remember, they're not identified by denominations. But you know, that is the key factor that's stopping this. Denominations. Catholics don't want to work with Catholics. Catholics don't want to work with evangelicals. You know, because of a denomination. Denominations has been a big division in Christianity from way back then. When God formed the church, He formed one church. Amen. There was no divisions. There was no denomination. Heck, the Baptists can't even decide if you're Baptist or not. They're breaking off, and you got 5 different types of Baptists. You got regular Baptist, Southern Baptist, Free Will Baptist, this Baptist, that Baptist. You know, so you got many divisions inside the Baptist denomination that won't even speak to each other. You know, this has got to stop. If you want this country to get back on track, this has got to stop. You know, when this country was formed, what happened? People got together, they prayed. They prayed. Declaration was written. First words on it. We the people. Then why is the rights of we the people taken away by certain groups? Why are lawmakers listening to 1, 2, or 3? Look, every law, I don't care what law you write, you're going to offend somebody. You're not going to have 100% participation, or that's going to agree with it. What do? You do the best you can. You don't change the law to satisfy one, dissatisfy 99. You don't change the law that's going to appease your feelings, but could cause harm down the road. You don't change the law because somebody comes in and say, hey, if you don't do this here, we won't come. Don't come. Don't come. You're not going to twist my hand. If you want to be a part of this, don't be a part of this. But this country has gotten away from a lot of that. These lawmakers are saying, I want to be reelected. Well, how do you get reelected when you're voting for 1 or 2 people like that, and then everybody else wants something different, wants to stay the way it is, stay safe, stay this, stay that, and you're going against that because of votes, re-election, money. We the people. One nation under God. Under God. It was written, it was on our currency. Now what? The Supreme Court now is saying, well, that's not what they really meant. How in the world do you know what a man meant 200 years ago? When they got together and they put it down in writing and they signed it, now you're saying that's not what they meant. Did you talk to them? Did they explain it to you? Our rights are being taken away because we're standing idle by. Many people want to do the right thing, but they're doing it individually. You're not going to do much. You can take a little snowball, make it, and sit it on the ground. Say, I want to do something. You ain't going to do that. So it become a little snowball sitting right there, and the sun comes out, it's going to melt. You want to be a power, take that snowball, roll it up, and roll it down the hill. It gets bigger and bigger. The bigger it gets, the faster it goes, the more power it's got. But nothing can stop it. We can do that. We can do that. Why ain't it getting done? You tell me. You're getting off on too many compromises in this country. In your family, on your job. This is a war, people. This is a war. Character, integrity. Character is what you're made of. That's what you're known by. Integrity is something you have. Your integrity forms your character. Your integrity is there whether it's here or down the road. You're you. And where you go, you are you. You don't change who you're around. Your friends don't want to be around you anymore. You want to be different. If people don't want to hang around you, that's good. That's one headache on our door about. Trying to satisfy them, because I'm not. I'm me. This is what I believe. I'm going to do this. That's it.
That's right.
Scripture says that your yea be yea and nay be nay.
That's right.
Do not be as a cake half baked. Be one thing in front of somebody, then somebody and then something else in front of another. They don't know who you are. You know, if you took this Bible and you only believe part of it, another part, it's not really that good, and it's not really important. You know what I mean? It's not important at all. Because you're going to pick and choose what you believe and what you don't. Why believe any of it then?
Sure.
Because the integrity of the Bible has already been lost. What you stand for, you stand for. What God stands for and what God is, He is. Jesus said, you're either for me or you're against me. If you deny me before others, I will deny you before my Father. And when you stand in front of a holy God to give an account, what are you going to say? Especially when He pulls it up right in front of your face and you're looking at it. What excuse are you going to use? There is none. There is none. When did God do His greatest works? People got together and what? One accord. Which means, remember I gave the sermon a couple weeks ago about Pastor Jeremiah? We were talking about him, and he came to a humongous church, 10,000 people. Remember he came in as a homeless man? 10,000 people. What did he say? I don't see a church. I just see a bunch of gathering of people. That's all it is. It didn't mean anything. But you come together in one accord, God is there and God is moving. You know, when the Roe versus Wade law came in, I don't know where y'all stand on abortion. I know you should stand on abortion. I don't know where you stand. When that came into effect, one woman challenged it, took it up the ladder. One woman. One woman fought it. Roe versus Wade. That's what it was called. Okay? Abortion laws came into effect. And people complained, oh no, that should never have happened. What did you do about it? Did you fight it, or did you just let it go and let them two battle it out and see what happens? What did you do about it? You voted them in, vote them out. They're supposed to represent you. Why do you think the country's fallen 20% back from 95 to 75 in Christianity? Idle people. Some of them are tired of what they're seeing. Some say, well, God's not at work in this country anymore. Why should I care? Because of what they're seeing. I've seen neighborhoods where they want to build a liquor store. One store, in particular in Aiken, wanted to carry books in there. It's a convenience store. I don't know the brand, but it's a store. But they wanted to carry these books. The people in the community got together and said no. And they got together and wrote a petition to shut it down. And what do you think would have happened if they didn't get together and write a petition? You'd have books in the store. See, Satan doesn't come at you as a full-scale assault. It's too easy to identify. He inches forward, inches forward, inches forward, so he doesn't stir up a cloud of dust. The next thing you know, he's at your door. And it's hard to react that fast. Boom, he's there. Caught you off guard. That's what all this stuff is. Look at how our country is. Look over the past 50 years. How did it get there? And if you go back and study, look at the changes that were made. Who did what? With 75% Christians in this world, or in this country, could easily been shot down. It's majority vote. But we're doing nothing. We've had prayer in schools removed. We've had prayer removed from events, ball games, speaking engagements. Why? Because nobody's standing up. If you don't want to hear the prayer, don't go to the ball game. Don't go to the ball game. Or come after the prayer's done. Wonder what would happen if everybody starts writing in, I want to hear the prayer. Instead of letting the ones write in, I don't want to hear it. But they're not getting those kind of letters. They're just letting it go. So we're standing idle by and let them run. I can't think of the name of the church this morning. I don't know if it's ALCU, ACLU, that's Civil Liberties Union. Why do you think they're as strong as they are? Because you got a bunch of people that don't want your rights heard, or the rights of a minority that really affects the right of everybody else. They got a bunch of them that believe the same, got together, formed a group. Now the voice is being heard as a group. Why are they getting by? They're not near as big as the Christian group. It's because the bigger group is letting them do it. They can have all the attorneys in the world. I don't care if the Christian group got their attorneys that stood up against them, they wouldn't win. They wouldn't win. They win because we let them, not because they're right. Because most of the time they're not right. But we're standing by and letting them do it. So who do we have to blame? Point your finger at yourself. Go look in the mirror. You. Did you try to say something? Did you write somebody? If you did, pat you on the back. That's good, because you're doing what you're supposed to do. I can't answer for a group. I can't answer for y'all. I can only teach you. I have to answer for myself. I cannot teach you one thing and do another. I've never been a fan of don't do what I do what I say. If you want them to do it, lead by example. I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. That's anything. You know, remember they had the concerning the Confederate battle flag. You had all the boycotts in the state. Okay, how the whole state was in an uproar and changing the economy and everything else. I'm not getting into the Confederate flag, right, wrong, what I believe, or anything else. That's irrelevant. But it's the fact is that majority of the people, even in black race to white race, they didn't care if the flag flew there or not. It's a flag. They didn't care. They interviewed one woman, it was flying, she lived a block away. She goes, I never really noticed it. But it's groups, like the thing in Mississippi or Missouri, it's groups that travel and they stir it up. It's a voice, and they go and they stir it up. If you look, it's the same group that's traveling and doing the stirring up. Well, what happens if the Christian voice would go and stir it up? You know? I mean, me personally, you know, the South's the South, Confederate battle flag's Confederate battle flag. But if I'm flying the flag and it offends you, I'll take it down. I'm sorry, people, but I'll take it down. Why am I going to fly it just to prove a point? Heritage is heritage. I got my heritage. It didn't change the past. It didn't change the heritage. Well, if I'm going to really upset you with it, why have a war when you can have peace just because of that? I mean, there's certain things to fight for, and there's certain things, guys, it isn't. You know? I mean, really and truly. You know? But in this war, this is something to fight for. Because you can say, well, that's not important. I'm not going to say that. That's not important. I'm not going to say that. When that gets passed, and that gets passed. Now I'm on a roll. Remember, in a court of law, precedence has a lot to say. Once you set a precedence, because that's what attorneys do, they'll go back on a certain case and the judge say, no, I'm not going to allow that. Oh, Your Honor, you can't. But Roe versus Wade or Brown versus Jenkins, this happened and this is how the court decided. You know, precedence. And that's what they do. They'll go back and pull up past cases. You may have 10 cases against it, but they'll pull up that one that was against it. It's in there. Now that can sway the judge. Why can't God's precedence be in the books? You know, just like that bathroom thing in North Carolina, that could not have been thought out very well. Now, North Carolina stood their ground. As far as the other country, some states are pretty bad. You know, I don't think you're going to change that because even the people and the politics and everything are pretty bad. You know, California, they've got 7 states on their ban list. If you go to the airport in California and want to fly to one of these states, you can't board a plane. You got to fly to a different state, and then fly to that state because they don't believe the way they do. Yeah, that's like basics the anti-gay movement. When the Boy Scouts didn't want that in their thing, California boycotted. You couldn't even get on a plane in California. And they'll say, well, if you don't believe this, Alabama's one of them, Kentucky, I can't remember all 7, but said, if you don't believe this, I have nothing to do with you. It's like seceding. You don't believe the way we do, well, nothing to do with you. We're not going to your state. Now, I'm not sure if they won't allow people from Alabama come into their state. I'm not sure of that, but I know their flights will not land in those 7 states. This is getting crazy. This is absolutely getting crazy. I don't know what the answer is except prayer, unite, put the country back the way it was intended to be. God first. Period. Period. If it doesn't line up with Scripture, vote it out. Vote it out. If this is the book we're supposed to be living by, and that will improve humanity, and is the book that will keep you straight, then go by it. How can you say that and not follow that? You know it and you're not following. Don't listen to threats. If you don't do this, you don't do this. You know, just like flag movement, bathroom movement. If you want to talk, let's talk. But don't come to me and say, if you don't do this here, then we're going to do this. Right off the bat, you're on my bad list. I'm going to tell you to do what you want to do. Because you done broke the conversation. Because now you want me to respond to a threat. That ain't going to work. So I'm sorry, I'm voting my conscience. You don't do it, I know I did right. Do not become a hypocrite. Say what you mean what you say. Give an example. When I was battalion chief, St. John's Fire Department, we had in-service once a month, and we had a map test of Kewah, Seabrook, Johns Island, Baltimore district. We had some men cheat on the map test. So they were brought before us at the officers meeting, the chiefs, there's only 4 of us, the chiefs brought before us to be fair to the officers meeting about how to handle this. And we decided to put everybody back, a pay grade. We're going to bust them in rank, 1 pay grade, freeze their leave, comp time, annual leave for 1 month. They couldn't take leave. Okay. When we did this, we had 1 person. It's okay. Yeah, we're going to stay updated on this, so pardon the interruptions. That was fair, whether you got busted back from engineer 3 to engineer 2, engineer 1, firefighter 3, well, no engineer 3, firefighter 3, firefighter 2, firefighter 1, and so on and so forth, 5%. But probationary firefighter to firefighter 1 is at 15% pay raise. They wanted to bust this guy back 1 rank too. Now he's the lowest paid with 3 kids. He's the lowest paid individual. Wanted to bust him back, Henry Brown, his name. 1 pay grade, I said, can't do that. Bust him back 5%. As everybody else's pay grade, it's a 5% increase in all the pay grades. But from probationary firefighter 1, that was 15. I said, take him back 5%, just make it 5%, same as everybody else. Nope, we said 1 pay grade. I looked it down and I said, are y'all for real? This is the lowest paid guy in the whole department, and you're going to bust him back 15%? We said 1 pay grade. I said, no, it equals out to 5%. I said, where's your common sense? They said, nope. We said 1 pay grade. So we had a vote. I've still got the minutes from that meeting. 13-1 was the vote. And they even named it. Chief Beeler, negative. Other 13, positive. So I went against the flow. I went against all the other chiefs, captains, lieutenants. I didn't care. Wrong is wrong. If it's wrong, you call it that. If it was unfair, you call it that. People want to side with the chiefs and get inside with the chiefs and give them a good side. I didn't care. I sided for that guy that couldn't speak. Now, when we left there, we had to say, this was our decision. You don't go out there and say, well, this was the vote, because they didn't know the vote. You don't go out there and say, some of us did this, some of us did that. Once you left that room, the argument and the war was in the room, but once you left, you're on. same voice. But the minutes are different. Like when we come in and tell you all certain things, you know, we had a pastor's meeting, you don't know what goes on in the pastor's meeting. We discuss and voice and this and this and this. But when we leave there, this is our decision. That's how it was there. But what I'm saying is that I was not afraid to go against the flow. Do what you will. Feel what you feel. I don't care, but I can live with myself. That's the decision we all have to make for ourselves. What can you live with? Remember, we were made in God's image, and we were put here for His pleasure. Not the guy that seat over there who I may get in good standings with, or may like me, may not like me. I'm not here for him. I'm here for what this says. And that's how I'm going to vote. This is how I'm going to act. This is what I'm going to do. You're a child of God, then act like a child of God. Because, buddy, if they see you as a hypocrite, you have no influence whatsoever. None. You have to stand your ground. That's how we're losing the war. We're not standing our ground. They say, well, I won't do anything. That way I know I don't make the wrong call. Not doing anything is making a decision. People think it's not, but it is. You decided not to do anything. You decided yes. You decided no. Everything you do is a decision. Whether it means go forward, go backwards, or stay idle. It's a decision. And you will give an account on that decision that you made. I don't want to stand in front of a holy God and give an account of why I did this. Let me read something. Second Timothy 4, verse 2, it says, preach the word of God, all of us, not just pastors, ministers. He's talking to all of us. Preach the word of God. Be prepared, whether the time is favorable or not. Now you're approached for something. You know where you stand. You know what you believe. Carl, up for that promotion. Why do you ask me this now? Is it favorable or is it not? It says, be prepared to give an account. Be martyred for the cause if you have to. Be prepared to give an account. Whether the time is favorable or not, patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching. Patiently, because they may not accept it when you first tell them. Patiently, rebuke. They didn't say, well, they're not accepting this here, so I won't bring it up. No. Patiently, correct, rebuke, and encourage. Whenever I had to correct somebody in my office and I called them in, fire department, I didn't call them in and get on them for messing up my fire scene. First thing I do is I bring them in and say, hey, I noticed your work around the station. I noticed your hustle. I noticed your determination. You know, I've seen this, I've seen that. I want to thank you for it. But there's one thing here I want to bring up that you need to work on. I'm going to give them that thing first. Give you a chance to work on it. But what did I do? I encouraged them. And it made the atmosphere right for them to hear the correction. I didn't bring them in an attacking mode. Now, if I would draw him in, say, close the door. What in the world were you thinking the other night? Da-da, da-da, da-da. And he'll say, I've done all these good things, and I messed up. So I try and go the other route, because a lot of people remember your bad things, not your good things. So I want to encourage the good things. And then when he leaves, he said, yeah, I can work on that, Chief. Yeah, I know you can. All right, I don't want to see you again. You won't, Chief. Fine. Because you bring him in and start bashing him, and especially if it's a hard worker, you're going to demoralize him. You know, and you don't get anything after that. So why? Why try? They don't notice, they don't care. You know? So there is a way to approach patiently, correcting, rebuking, and encouraging. It says, for the time is coming when people will no longer listen to sound or wholesome teaching. They will follow their own desires and will look for teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. They will reject the truth and chase after myths. That's what you're seeing going on in this country. They don't want to hear what this has to say because it goes against what they want to do. Well, let's see. I knew I had my childhood days. I was just learning. I was gung-ho for Christ. But I have my 20s. This is the time for me to live it up, because I know when I get old, I'm not going to be able to. You know, so tell me this here 20 years down the road, but right now I don't want to hear that. But this is the one I live by. 1 Timothy 4, verse 16. Keep a close watch on how you live and on your teaching. Stay true to what is right for the sake of your salvation, as well as the salvation of those who believe. I never want to be a stumbling block in front of my brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell you right now, if I am, I'll be the first to correct it. I'm not too proud to say I'm sorry. To make things right. I messed up. I messed up. I'll tell you I messed up. And maybe times I say something that you may not understand. Come see me. We'll discuss it. If I'm wrong, I'll change. But if I'm right, it's there. Whether you see it or understand it or not. But I want to teach what I feel God wants me to teach. I'm not going to teach what I think you want to hear. I'm going to teach you what you need to hear. Now, it's your decision whether you follow it or not. It's your decision. Now we'll leave you with this in closing. As Joshua put it, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for my family. I'm responsible for you, for teaching. You to go out and make right decisions that will give glory to our God. In my house, we will serve the Lord. I will do my very best with my knowledge not to let anything evil come into my house. You come into my house, you don't hear arguing. And once in a while, Jan and I will have a disagreement. You don't hear us argue. I don't argue with my kids. I don't get on my kids. My house is a refuge. The people that come over there know it. Trish, Philip, Andrew, they all know it. As for me and my house, we will serve God. Period. And if that's not what you want to hear, Doors are open. Okay? Like to see you. That's the rules of the house. And they're non-negotiable. So I pray that when things come up against you, the things that you see are wrong and immoral, and it's against God's teachings, that you stand up for it. That's a friend of yours. Take 2 Timothy 2 and you go in front of them. Patiently teach, rebuke, correct, and encourage. And help them get straight. But I will add this. You have to live what you teach. No one's going to listen to you if you're trying to tell them something that you're not doing it yourself. So live what you teach. If you don't live it, you're not qualified to teach it. Same thing as the minister gets in this pulpit. The minister does something he's not supposed to do. He is to be relieved of his duties until things are made right. Or he gets back in his pulpit. Is he still ordained? Your ordination is still life. Does he still know the word? He still knows the word. That means he's still qualified. No. Yes and no. What do you think a minister would do to a church? He does what he wants to do and teaches another. He does his thing and teaches another. What do you think will happen to that church? And the people that follow him? Do your best. Do your best to live a holy life. Do what is right. Now people can come to you and say, well, who decides right and wrong? God did. That's not for human determination or human, what's the one I want to use? Yeah, human opinion, another word. Okay? It is what it is. If you don't understand it, stay. You don't understand Scripture, get your coordinates out, study. If you do that, I'll give you the answer and figure it out. You just don't want to go there. Scripture is not a book that was written as a Christian for God's children to not learn and walk by. God did not make it complicated. He did maybe for the world, but not for his kids. The Holy Spirit will guide you into anything and everything. Each and every one of you right now needs that scripture in Joshua. As for you and your house, you will serve the Lord. You can't control anybody else, but it starts in your home. Because if you don't do that, you come in here and sit in here, I have no idea why you're here. Hoping I'd say something for your reaching years, chances are I won't do that. Amen? Amen. We all good? Okay. Let's pray. God, I pray right now, Father, that you go with each and every one here. The joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Lord is our strength. Your word is a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path. I will never leave the path that is lit. Even though they say the path is narrow and only a few will travel, the path is lit. I will travel. I thank you for it, Lord. I thank you for your guidance, your word and your teaching, your love, your care, and your devotion. I just lift you up right now, God. Just lift you up right now. So you are the holy God whom I want to serve. Again, be with our pastor and his family. And we expect a good report from you. Thank you, Lord. Jesus' name we ask. And we give all glory. Amen.
Amen.
Excuse me.
Can you go over that you talked about microphone again, because we didn't get it on the internet, we want to get it on the internet.
I'll repeat when you bring it. Sure, go ahead. Tell me when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I'm doing is I'm reiterating what I said earlier about Pastor Tom. Again, he had chest pains the other night. He had them Wednesday night. He went in Thursday for checkups at his brother's office in Manning, and he had some specialists there. They ran tests and did blood work. He had the same pain again last night. I'm not going to say everything he said first time. He had the pain last night. Went to the ER. They ran tests again. They gave him nitro and a nitro patch. Okay, they relieved his chest pain. Okay, but as we all know, like I said earlier, usually angina comes on with stress. It usually doesn't come on in relaxation. That's usually what relieves it. Okay, but it brought his blood pressure down. His PVCs stopped firing, which is skip beats. Stopped firing his PVCs. His pulse rate went down and started feeling a little better. But it didn't explain the sharp pain he had and everything else. And he got to eating an ice cream. The other day he got it from eating something else, but it wasn't anything like that. But he had the pains all night. Blood work came back good. All the enzymes were normal. There wasn't anything risen out of proportion. The PPT hadn't come back yet, but that's not a major issue in the realm of skin. It's the right number of things. So they transported him down to Roper. Now at Roper, they're going to run some tests. They were basically this morning just going to give him a stress test. If everything came out good, they were going to send him home. Okay? Pastor Molly's been back and forth with me all morning while I was in there preparing for this. And then she texted me back and said, change the plans. All right, they're going to give him a cath today. All right, which is good because something is there. Something is there, and I don't want, you don't want to be taking a stress test. Something is there. If they can do something else first to see what it is. They believe it's some kind of blockage. Now, the last time he had his 05, when 13, when he had some of his stents and all put in, there was one they couldn't get to, but they didn't think it was going to be a major concern right now. Now, it can cause you chest pain, and whether it's serious enough to cause an MI is to be seen, because I'm not sure what artery they were talking about. They're going to give him the cath, and if everything looks good, they're going to give him the stress test. What they're concerned with, the last moments, is what are the concerns? Well, his past history, because he's had, a bunch of them, but two major ones, 05 and then 13. And the stuff he's having now is very similar to what 13 was. Okay. This morning, though, he woke up, he was feeling good, but now he's starting to feel a tightness in his chest. Okay. And so they're concerned with that, so they want to do the cath and see maybe where a blockage is, so they can take care of that before they send him home. So that is the status, the last I've heard from them, because Holly texted me and Mommy texted me and said they're both going to keep me abreast of what's going on. Anytime something's changed, anytime they find out something, I'm going to get a text. So I haven't gotten anything yet. This time you got a phone call.
I have a phone call from my son Bill. He's over there now meeting with the doctor. And he's going to find out what's going on.
Okay. Because Billy was in Edgestowe. He was going to stop by this morning on the way back, because I got on the phone with Billy last night so I could interpret what they were saying, to him. And he wanted me to stay in touch with him, what's going on. Because the nurses were telling me everything. Only because I understand where they go. And, but nothing severe popped up last night. Okay? Nothing severe popped up Thursday during the test. But something is there. And they know something is there. This is not normal. Okay? So they want to make sure before they release it or anything else. So that's the status right now. Okay? So as they go through their day and run their tests, I'll be getting updates. Okay? So when we do, we'll have it put out on Facebook and on Hollyman can put it out. I think they have a lot of people in the church on their text. I'm not part of the group text, 'cause I don't like group text. I say, you want to call me. But they have the group thing and they have Facebook, so you will be updated on all that. Okay, so that's where we are, that's why I'm here. Now, this is just basically safety precautions is what it is. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Tithes and offerings,